Jai Jai Rama Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Hari Om. Hari Om to everybody. Today we have received a lot of questions. A teenager spontaneously brought about 2-3 questions to his mother. First question was, who is God? Or why God? In a house where traditional worship is going on, normally our generation never asks such questions. We continue with whatever that is being practiced. And later on, when the question starts welling up in our hearts, when we try to integrate our life, then we see there are so many ups and downs. And where does the relevance of God come in? All those questions come. But here, nowadays, the young children, they have these fundamental doubts right from the beginning. This, we got it only very late. That is the difference. So when the parents say then we have to pray to the Guru, God, they have respect no doubt to their parents, but still they are not convinced, what should be the concept while praying to God. However much anybody explains about God, it will be incomplete and imperfect. Because it is the very subject. However, many people have tried in their own way. Papa used to say, from their drishtikona, from their perspective, whatever they have been able to experience, they have brought it. But even then, that is not the end. Each one has to try. But for enabling us to try, we should have something, to start with. So for anybody who asks this question, normally we find the definition given by Peace Pilgrim, a very highly evolved soul. Something we can easily understand. God is the creative force. Suddenly, you look at a seed. When the seed is lying on your plate, nothing happens. But when the same seed is sown, after some preparatory measures, like loosening the soil, adding a little bit of fertilizer or manure, watering it, like that, some process. After a few days, you find it sprouts. Creative force. It becomes a plant, later on it becomes a tree. What is the creative force? Can you explain? The sustaining power. Everything is there. The sun is there, the moon is there, the stars are there, the world is there. There is no collision. Everything is suspended as it were, but there is a sustaining. And when we go a little more advanced, we will find that though there are so many changes happening in us, say when we look at ourselves, I was a child, I became an adolescent, I became a young man, I became a middle-aged person, I became a youth, then I became a middle-aged person. Now I am a senior citizen. But there is one sustaining principle is there, Normally we say I, There is something common there, The child me, though the child me is different from the youth me, though the youth me is different from middle-aged me is different from senior citizen me, there is still, what is it that sustaining one? Think. And the changes that are happening, birth, growth, decay, disease, death, anything. There is an order there. As we said, we plant, it sprouts, it grows, and then finally it dies. A fruit, the flowering takes place, pollination takes place, fruition takes place, ripening takes place, then it gets dropped. In anything and everything we can see there is change. So, that which motivates towards calm, constant change. Then, the overall intelligence. Whatever we use now, whatever we talk now, whatever we think now, it is based on the intelligence. We ourselves are not aware. When there was no specs in the world, when there was no chapel in the world, just imagine when there was no dress in the world, when there was no language in the world, there was no chair in the world, there was no laptop in the world, there was no electricity in the world, there was no building in the world. The first concept should come to somebody, Intelligence. When we see a paddy, nowadays we can say it's a paddy. Rice is coming from paddy, all those things. But first imagine, paddy, person's probing nature God gave. So when he had seen the today labeled paddy, he would have removed the husk and the rice came out. And he did not know what to do. He would have, through trial and error, by him or by a series of people later. Today we are using it as rice, as dosha, idli, upma, so many. Same thing with wheat, same thing with food. Somebody saw something in a tree. Suppose he had left it like that? No. He plucked it. He tasted it. and there is a name attached to it. We say apple, orange, so many fruits. We are enjoying because of the intelligence has come out from so many forms, and even today it is coming out, Intelligence within, overall intelligence. We are trying to get approximating the reality of God, Nobody will be able to bring it out, but these are some of the approximating hints. Overall intelligence, which governs the universe by physical and spiritual law. There are so many physical laws, Law of gravity, law of the magnet, it has got its own law. Fluidity of the water. So many. The heat in the fire. Water goes down, when you start your gas stove, the flame goes up. So in the case of fire, it goes up. In the case of water, it goes down. So these are all eternal laws, physical laws. Scientists will be able to tell us what are they. Who made this? So began. Truth. Love. Slowly he is entering into the inner chamber. From the outer, okay. Then truth, love. Love means absence of otherness. Goodness, kindness, beauty, the ever-present, all-pervading essence of spirit. When somebody dies, we say he has passed away. So we take him to the crematorium or burial ground. What has happened? He was speaking, he was alive. When we say he passed away, the spirit has gone, the body is still there. Come close, which binds everything in the universe. It's a beautiful word. And gives life to everything in the universe. Even if we forget the whole thing, this life, if is there, that may give us some more. The breathing takes place. The blood circulates. The heart beats. The digestion takes place. All the 5 organs are functioning in their respective field. Seeing how? What is the power behind it? Binds everything together. Just imagine. We are sitting before the TV. We are reading the news. We see some news or hear some news saying that some calamity has happened. There was an explosion in Kabul yesterday. 40 people so many people have died. What is our immediate reaction? Immediate reaction. You ask yourself, oh, God. We are not geographically connected. There is no blood relation. There is nothing, There is nothing that connects us with them. But still, what is your immediate, spontaneous reaction? Oh, you feel touched for a fraction of a second, which binds everything in the universe together and gives life to everything in the universe. A little more explanation is given. God is love. Whenever you reach out in loving kindness, you are expressing God. God is truth. Whenever you seek truth, you are seeking God. God is beauty. Whenever you touch the beauty of a flower or a sunset, you are touching God. God is the intelligence that creates all, sustains all, binds all together and gives life to all. Yes, God is the essence of all. So you are within God, God is within you. You could not be where God is not. You are within God, all pervading. God is within you, indwelling spirit. Simple. So like that, there are so many explanations. So the question is, who is God? Why should we know about him? We need not know about him if we don't feel it. But if we say we don't want to know about him, we are denying ourselves. If we take a little time for us to ask where from this being and mind comes, whenever we are crushed by so many challenges, so many things which are not palatable or favorable to us, then we ask why? So God is the hope, when everything is lost. But it cannot be imposed. It cannot be thrust upon somebody. It should come from within. When He wills, He is the one who is making us to talk now, the life force. He is the one who is hearing now through the other form, seeing through the other form. That power, the power to see, power to hear, power to breathe. So if we can try, first of all, we should understand, then only we'll be able to convey this to them. We must honestly feel life is there. And life force, Jivanam Sarvabhuteshu. What else can we say? Beyond that, we cannot say that. Somebody beautifully said, when you are not an object, you are God. Because there is no subject-object relationship there. And the same boy asked, why should there be collective chanting? I can independently chant, That is not enough. Surely it is enough. Individual chanting is a must. But at the same time, in a family, in a get-together, now in ashram, there is collective chanting here. We first get introduced to the sweetness of chanting only by joining the collective in the ashram. At home, we are preoccupied with various things. So when we go and sit in a room, it might not be that easy for the mind to get fixed on the name. But if 2 or 3 or 4 people are chanting, even if the mind runs here and there, the person who leads and everybody joins, there is a gap there. Slowly the chanting, chanting gives us chanting makes us to become one with it. So there is an inherent power in the collective chant. Papa used to mention that in the group, in the congregational group, it is very important, yes. It is quite possible in a congregation, your mind gets into silence and transcends multiplicity, and you feel that there is nobody about you. In such a congregation, usually, you will find some person who is advanced on the spiritual path and is unconsciously producing a holy atmosphere and sanctifying it, as a result of which it is easy for an aspirant to still the mind. Therefore, for self-purification, it is rightly said that you must commune with the devotees of God who are constantly thinking of Him and who have attained some measure of peace and tranquility through union with Him. In such company, we find great help and our spiritual progress is accelerated. So there is the relevance of congregation. So in our house, in the metropolitan cities, it may be difficult. That way people go, during their leisure hours to nearby spiritual institutions, ashrams, and join in the program. Be there for some time and then come back. Why? So there is a power which cannot be defined, a power which cannot be explained. But we experience when we go there and sit. So at home, when the parents, we all remember our good old days. Mother will be there and the brothers will also be there. Every evening religiously, after 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, we wash our hands and feet and go there to the puja room and sit there. And she will teach us slogas or bhajans, and we do that. At that time, we did not know why we are doing it. It was for the sake of mother, no doubt. But later on, we found that was the foundation upon which everything is being slowly built. So, collective chanting is recommended, especially people who are too much preoccupied in the workaday field, and when they come back at home. Another important question, very important question from a teenager. Why ask God for something and we do something in return when God is our parent? He said to his mother, when I ask you something, you will give me if it is okay for me, otherwise you will not give. Though I may insist, you may not give. What is good for me, you will give. So God is our parent, that's what we have been told. Then why should we ask for this and that? Just imagine. He knows, okay, we have got the freedom to ask. And he says, we are offering something, If I get this, I will do this. Or there are so many karmas, when you go to the temple, there will be a list. For this particular purpose, I will do this. For Aishomam, or so many things are there, Kamya karmas. So the boy says, is it not something like bribing? It is not bribing. But no doubt, there is that feeling. If I get this, I will do that. Actually, we need not ask anything. And when we go to temple as spiritual aspirants, when we suppose we are prompted to perform a puja, we offer them, and if they ask some details, you say for Vishwasham. That's not for any Kamya karmas. Not for attaining this, not for getting this, Because our job is to pray. You are giving me a sankalpa to pray for this. Left to you. You will grant me if that is going to do good for me. You will not grant me if it is going to be detrimental to my interest. That's all. So we find when these questions were given, fantastic. The level, how they have progressed. And they are teaching us all these through these questions. Probing deep, getting clarity on the word God, which is very essential in our spiritual journey. Otherwise, we may be having a lot of concepts about God. So this will enable us to go deeper and deeper and deeper. Initially from outside and later on from inside. Then, yesterday, somebody has asked, at the feet of God, he says, Papa says, shake off all bonds, stand alone and view. We being ladies and doing the committed work as housewives, how can we be separate? We separate ourselves from it and stand alone. When Papa says shake off, what he meant was not mentally we shake off and free ourselves from the bondage. We try, we may fail. We try. God has given me the role of a housewife. And at this moment, He has given the prompting from inside to take to these. Suppose then we don't feel the sense of agency. At the same time, we are not running away from the field. We are doing, but yesterday we said, Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, 8th sloka. Remember? Everything is going on. But at the same time, inside, the Lord remains untouched and unaffected. Suppose we become aware of this truth, and even so many things, we do it in even the Vyavaharic level. We perform and then go past. We cannot say we should detach ourselves. It should come from within. It will come from within. Yesterday, in one of the commentaries, Swami Chinmayanji was making, the mind has to attach itself to something. So, when it gets attached to the spirit within, normally the detachment to the outer thing will take place. So, to understand Papa's these words, shake off all bonds, stand alone and view, not from our present state of mind. We try to connect ourselves with Him. Automatically, we stand aloof from everything. It is not that we are trying. It is the outcome of the process. It is the outcome of the closeness towards. So everywhere we try to bring this dimension. When the sense of individuality is dominant, it is very difficult. We cannot shake off. But the sense of individuality is trying to realize that it owes its existence to that power within. Then we will find the outcome will be a gradual detachment from the sense fields. We will be doing everything, but at the same time remains unaffected. There is no bondage. It is easy to say, but very difficult to practice if we don't bring in the God dimension. That is very important. Next question was, in the Nirvana Shadgam, Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chittani Na Aham. There, Na Dharmam, Na Chartam, Na Kamam, Na Moksham. So the question is, neither do I desire for liberation. Is it not paradox? Is it not a paradox that we are striving for liberation and we now here? See, now we are striving for liberation from the individual's level. That statement has come from the enlightened level. The first line says, Mano Buddhi Ahankara Chittani Na Aham. So far I have been identifying myself with my mind, my intellect, the sense of feeling, individual feeling, Mano Buddhi Ahankara, and Chit. I am not this. From that level, there is no need for any liberation. No, it is a liberated state. So we don't have to say that we crave for liberation. Only a bound person has to crave for liberation. A liberated person doesn't need that. So that Nirvana Shadgam, though we are all repeating it, it is a reminder to us that we should reach that stage. We cannot immediately bring those things to our level. Na dharmam, na chartam, na kamam, na moksham, na artham, na kamam, na moksham, chitananda rupam shiva. Na punyam, na papam, na saukyam, na dukkham, na mantram, na tirtham, na vedam, na yajnam. All these things are at that level. So we are striving towards that level. When once we reach that, we will understand the real meaning. So Adi Shankara composed this probably with a view that spiritual aspirants, when they keep on chanting and remembering and going in depth, they will form the right concept and graduate themselves, elevate themselves to a higher level. Another question was, beginningless, endless Param Puja Papa. Whereas in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord mentioned that He is the beginning, the middle and the end. Srishti and Srishtav, the creator and the creation. Can we separate it? From the creator's standpoint, we can say beginningless and endless. For example, this whole space, it is beginningless and endless. At the same time, when we come down to the Srishti, there is a beginning, there is a middle, and there is an end. But if the all-pervading Lord is not there, the Srishti is not possible. So it is another way of interpreting it, that's all. Adi Antarahita, when we say. And I am there in all. Adi, Madhya, Anta. There also I am there. One is in the impersonal state, the other is in the personal state. Because we cannot separate the creation from the creator. So throughout the creation, throughout the various stages of creation, He is there. Just like we said, I was a child. From the journey from the child to the senior citizen, He is there, untouched, unaffected by it. At the same time, He is beyond this. He transcending all these things, that is there. But even in the creation, He is there. Bhavatitam. He says, Mahans and Bappa, who are totally detached and ever in tune with the divine Shakti within, are they aloof from what Bhava? Bhava will be there for everybody. Realized or not realized. The difference is, in this case, it is individually connected Bhava. The other one is cosmic related Bhava. There won't be nothing that limits them. Our Bhava is different. Everything is based on our individual. There, though, so long as they have got a sense of individuality, body, mind and equipment, there is some limitation. But at the same time, they connect themselves to the cosmic reality. Pujya Mataji in late 30s, she has vividly, explicitly mentioned. Apparently, there won't be any difference between the behavior of a realized soul and the unrealized. The only difference is that in our case, it is based on our individual level. There, it is on the cosmic level. We lose our temper because something that affected them. They lose their temper because they feel that we are not making progress. But they may be taking us into task. So we can't say that, Bhavatitam means what? That is the highest state, Nirguna Nirakara state. But when we come down to the Saguna Sakara state, that interpretation will be there. But it will be on a different plane. Lot of difference are there. Today we have run out of time. We will take it, rest of this we will take it for tomorrow. And based upon this, suppose we look back to our own life, we will see all these things get clarified because God makes us to observe all these things. When we closely observe the life of a sage or go through the biographical sketch, we find, initially we may find, why is he behaving like this? What is the difference between me and him? Then later on we slowly find the dimension is different. Apparently they look the same, but no. We look at it from the individual standpoint. So when we have the sense of individuality so predominant, it will be difficult to capture what is on the higher level. That is why we are asked to do it. No, the process will give us all these clarifications. Otherwise, it becomes an academic or what you call intellectual exercise. The rest of the questions we will do tomorrow. Anyway, it is nice that as we keep on moving towards the spirit within us and without us, he will bring out so many inner conflicts, inner questions, inner doubts. And when he decides that it should be aired out, we feel it is for not only for the person who has brought out the question, it is also for all of us, so that we will go deeper into it and we will get the answer from him, which will be the right answer. So we are deeply grateful to him for having prompted many of these forms to bring out such questions. We pray to him to give us the good guidance as to how it should be shared. Hari Om. Om. Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om Swami, Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om Swami, Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om.